Professor PLO Lumumba once asked us, how many more times will colonial masters trick us into hating our own people? My fellow Africans, xenophobia is not the language of African civilization. It is the afterlife of colonial rule. It is the poisonous doctrine that teaches an African to fear another African more than he fears exploitation, debt, extraction, or foreign domination. The colonial state divided us by borders, papers, and false hierarchies. The neo-colonial order still profits when we turn those divisions into hatred. That is why xenophobia is not merely a social crisis. It is the ultimate victory of the colonial mindset over African consciousness. Now look at the contradiction before us. South African capital moves comfortably across Africa. In Nigeria, we see MTN Nigeria, MultiChoice Nigeria, and Stanbic IBTC. In Ghana, we see MTN Ghana, MultiChoice Ghana, and Stanbic Bank Ghana. Beyond these two countries, MTN says it operates in 19 markets. MultiChoice says it serves households across sub-Saharan Africa, and Standard Bank says its footprint spans more than 20 African countries. Yet when xenophobic violence erupts in South Africa, it poisons relations across the continent. Reuters reported how attacks on foreigners in South Africa triggered reprisals against South African businesses such as MTN and Shoprite in Nigeria. And let us not pretend this exchange is one-sided. Nigerian firms also have a footprint in South Africa through Access Bank South Africa, First Bank's Johannesburg office, and Zenith Bank's Johannesburg representative office. Ghana's footprint is smaller, but it is real. Casapreco publicly lists South Africa among its offices outside Ghana. If African investors are welcome across borders, but African workers and traders are not, then what exactly are we building? And now even Ghana and Nigeria are feeling the strain. Ghanaian business icon Sir Sam Jonah has publicly alleged that his multi-million-dollar property investments in Nigeria have come under sustained attack through a prolonged corporate and legal battle, raising troubling questions about whether African capital is truly secure in African hands. Is this not the very climate that weakens the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, insults Agenda 2063's vision of an integrated, prosperous and peaceful Africa, and mocks Nkrumah's call that Africa must unite? But let us also be honest with history. South Africa did not invent this poison. The modern politics of mass anti-African expulsion in post-colonial West Africa hardened after the overthrow of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah on 24 February 1966. On 18 November 1969, the Busia administration issued the Aliens Compliance Order, giving foreigners without proper papers 14 days to leave Ghana. Scholars identify the 1969 expulsion as the first major mass expulsion of Africans by their own brothers, one that affected about 200,000 migrants from countries including Nigeria, Togo, and the then Upper Volta, now Burkina Faso. Then came Nigeria's far larger 1,983 expulsion of over 1 million Ghanaians, under the infamous era remembered as Ghana Must Go. These tragedies did not start in Johannesburg or Pretoria. They began in West Africa, fueled by the same old colonial strategy of divide and rule. Afrophobia shattered families, damaged regional trust, and, as historians argue, was enabled by colonial-era ideas of belonging and indigeneity that turned Africans into aliens on African soil. And when history is not transformed into wisdom, yesterday's expulsion returns as today's mob slogan. The question we must ask ourselves is, must we always allow ourselves to be used by the invisible hands of the imperialists and neo-colonialists? This question demands an immediate answer from our leaders on the continent. Kwame Nkrumah reminded us, the forces that unite us are intrinsic and greater than the superimposed influences that keep us apart. We share languages, history, and dreams across these borders. Instead of rivalry, let our common African unity become our greatest strength. Can Africa prosper if we allow fear and suspicion to divide us? Will we continue to waste our energy fighting each other while the colonial legacies remain unchallenged? My answer is clear. We must replace xenophobia with productive trade, free movement, reciprocal protection, political education, and Pan-African civic culture. Unity is not sentiment. Unity is strategy. A divided Africa is a playground for imperial interests. A united Africa is a civilization in command of its destiny. Together, we are stronger. Thank you for listening to Broadcasting from Conakry. If this message has inspired you, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with others, and leave your thoughts in the comments section. Your voice is important in shaping the future of Africa.